Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-handed mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we have here a Husqvarna ST224. This is has the LCT engine on it. This one is in because it does not run. So we're going to go ahead and perform the diagnostics on why it won't start and how to diagnose and repair it. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is check the oil, which is right here. And I need to look in the book to find out exactly if you're supposed to screw this in or not. I will put it on the screen so you know if you have to screw this in or not. But either way, I did check this. I haven't touched this machine other than checking the oil this morning, and I did notice that this oil is supposed to be between the dots, and it's way up here on the caution. So I'm going to go ahead and lower this, and we'll be right back. Okay, I was just going to go ahead and do this real quick, but I might as well show you. Here is the drain for the oil. This is nice that it's actually sticking out pretty far, but you do have to put something on the front end, underneath the front end, to actually have it tip back. It's a 5/8 wrench that'll take this off. I already got it loose. I'm going to go ahead and tip this back. Now, normally if I was changing the oil, I definitely would, and we're probably going to change this oil, but right now this is about diagnostics on trying to get this thing fired up. So let me go ahead and I just want to show you guys that real quick. If you do need to drain the oil because it smells like gas, which is not good. If the engine oil smells like gas, you definitely have a carburetor issue, which in turn, the internal parts don't hold the fuel back and lets all the fuel from your gas tank go through the carburetor and into the engine, and that's not good. We're just trying to get this down because this is definitely not gasoline. This is oil. So somebody just overfilled it, but I don't want to run it because if you have it overfilled, you can also get the engine to pump up too much oil and it can go everywhere, and actually you can get up into the cylinder, which is not good. Okay, we're just going to get this down to level and we'll be right back. Okay, so I have the oil level down to where I think it should be, and I noticed that the engine's slanted. So I'm going to put a block of wood under here. It looks much more level now, and we're going to go ahead and check it again. I'm going to go ahead and do the happy medium. I'm not going to sit it on top, and I'm not going to screw it all the way down. I'm just going to put it in a couple threads and then take it out, because that'll be the happy medium. Either we're doing it correctly or not. I will put it up in the, you'll see it in the screen. All right, so we need to be between those two dots. We're good enough to start the engine and it's not overfilled. There's a nice on and off fuel valve right here, and it is a nice feature to have on snow blowers. I wish they would have them on all of them, but I have seen these fail a lot, so you just have to, you know, you just hope they work for you. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and turn the valve on, and then you want to check compression. Easy way to check compression is to pull your pull cord and feel it bump. And this one, it gets hard and then it gets easy, and that's exactly how it should be. If you can't pull the pull cord, if this pull cord is literally stuck and you had a lot of gas or you had extra oil in your engine, you want to take the spark plug out very carefully. Put the spark plug boot off to the side and then pull the pull cord over, and if you get any liquid coming out of your spark plug hole, that was because the carburetor failed and it allowed it to go in, pumped it up into the cylinder, and then it got lock condition. So if this is locked, you probably have fuel and oil in your cylinder. All right, next we want to go ahead and check spark to make sure we have it. Let's go ahead and put the spark tester in. This can be really tricky to get out, and I would definitely recommend a pair of pliers to pull this out, because you don't want to pull this wire off this boot. If you do, you're going to be in trouble. So it's better to grab it with a pair of pliers, pull it out. I use an inline spark tester. Put it in line. I'm just checking spark real quick. I'm just going to get it to stay right there. This should flash. I'm going to try this in the dark, see if you guys can see this. Oh, you know what? Okay, so we have good spark. So while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and pull the spark plug out. I'm using a 13/16 spark plug socket. It is a little hard to get in here, and I have to say, some people have cross-threaded their spark plugs because this little lip from the valve cover right here actually gets in the way of the socket going in. So you can actually get it cross-threaded. I would recommend using a piece of fuel line to put the spark plug back in instead of your socket, or put it in by hand. See, I'm already getting it stuck. Having a hard time coming out, but I use this. This is just basically a piece of fuel line. It's just a rubber hose that goes on the end of a spark plug. Makes it much easier to put the rubber boot on to get the spark plug off. If you have a thin socket, it'll probably work better. Spark plug has definitely been around a while. I'm gonna go ahead and squirt some fuel in there. By squirting fuel down the spark plug hole, you don't want to go too crazy, just want to get a couple squirts. I'm going to put the spark plug back in, and using the rubber hose line, or the, my rubber tool right here, it actually lines it up a little bit easier too, and it goes in a lot easier. Now if it starts and then dies, guaranteed this is a carburetor problem. It means you have everything you need to start the engine right now. You have compression, you have fuel, you have air, and spark. We have the controls here. We have a on and off button here, so we have to make sure that this is on run. This is a key right here that needs to be in, or the machine will not run, so you have to have those two. And then up here, it's kind of hard to read, but you have a throttle, which is this gray part. And you can see how it says turtle for slow and rabbit for fast. I usually have it up to fast speed, and then I back it down just a tick, not too much, okay? And this is your choke. This red knob here is your choke. So you have run and you have start. So when it's on start, that means the choke is on. And when you have it on run, that means the choke is off. So when you start it, make sure it's on choke, which is on start. And then once it warms up, click it back a couple. Just remember, when this is running correctly, it's going to be on run. The choke will be off. If you get it to smooth out when it's halfway off a choke or on choke, and it's smooth out here, this is incorrect. Your engine, your carburetor has a problem, has a blockage, it needs to be rebuilt. You can get away with it like that just to get your snow blown, but proper running condition is when it's in the run position and it'll smooth out. It may take a couple of minutes, of running time, and maybe blowing some snow, but it should run with the choke in the off position, which is the run position. So we got it set here, set at 3/4 throttle. Down here is a primer bulb, and we're gonna go ahead and prime it 1, 2, 3 times. Let's give it a couple pulls. All right, that actually ran pretty long. So let me go ahead and try to see if I can get it to, put it on start, prime it 3 times. I took the choke off and it's surging, but it's getting better. Okay, so we got extremely lucky. I just also want to show you one other thing. Underneath the carburetor, right here, there is a bolt. And this bolt is designed that you can drain the carburetor, without, taking the carburetor off. The carburetor is this part right here. This is where the gas goes bad, inside this bowl. Not necessarily in the tank, but in the bowl. So we're gonna go ahead and, even though it does run, if you guys at home, still can't get it started, or it ran on that fuel, take this bolt out. All right, let's go ahead and take this bolt out. Again, if you guys are sensitive to gasoline, definitely put some gloves on. But this is how you drain bad gas out of the carburetor bowl. It's designed to do this. Now, that gas in there definitely is a little bit more stale than what was in the gas tank. And make sure you have fresh fuel in your tank. I forgot to say that in the beginning, but you should definitely make sure your tank is full of fresh gas. And I'm just going ahead and screwing this thing back in again. We could have turned the fuel off, but I'm just trying to get you guys up and running right now. This is a little bit on the dark side. All right, and it did run though. It ran what was in there, and that's saying something. I think we're gonna try this one more time just to make sure it runs. And we're gonna go ahead and tune this up, but that pretty much got this running. I may have if it does not run after you drain the carburetor bowl, and you could try a new spark plug. This spark plug obviously had spark because it ran, and that's the way to check it, is that putting a little bit of fuel down the spark plug hole will definitely confirm that it's a carburetor problem. And if it stops, you have to remove the carburetor. I may have a video on how to remove this carburetor on this engine. It may be from another machine, but I'm pretty sure it'll work for all the LCT engines. So let's go ahead and fire this up one more time. So we're gonna put choke on, and I'm gonna idle it down just a little bit. We're inside, I don't need to run the full bore. Make sure the switch is on, make sure this is in. I'm not gonna worry about priming it because I think it'll fire right up, or maybe not. This one has the idle control. Some of them did, some of them didn't, and that's what the turtle and the rabbit is, but this is running real good now. So that pretty much sums it up for how to diagnose and get this Husqvarna snowblower running. It's an ST224. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.